Hey, this is Jamie with Useful Knowledge. Remember our video on how to plant jalapeno peppers from earlier this spring? Well, we harvested those pepper plants today and we got about 8 gallons of jalapeno peppers. We're going to take some of those and we're going to make pickled jalapenos. We're going to show you how to make them, we're going to show you how to can them, so stay tuned. Okay, to get things started, I want to make about 6 8-ounce jars of pickled jalapenos. So from experience, I know I need about 50 to 60 jalapeno peppers. So if you're going to go to the store and buy some, go ahead and get at least 60 jalapeno peppers. You want to look through them, make sure they're all good, and then you want to wash them, and that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, I'm going to show you how to cut up your jalapenos. So what I do is I cut off what I call the nose here. So I cut that off, and then I slice them at about 1/4 of an inch all the way down until I get to the tail, and I throw out the tail. So there you have a sliced jalapeno. And you just do this to all 60 of them that you bought. And you'll be ready to pickle jalapenos. Okay, from cutting up 60 jalapenos, we ended up with about 6, maybe 7 cups of cut up jalapenos. And so we're going to start our process. I do want to tell you, please, when you're cutting up jalapenos, do not touch your face in any way, your eyes, your mouth, anything, because you will start to burn. And if you rub your eyes while you're cutting up jalapenos, it will get really painful. Okay, there's probably 1,000 pickled jalapeno recipes running around the internet, but the one I've used for a long time, and it makes really great pickled jalapenos, is about 6 cups of jalapeno peppers cut up, 3 cups of vinegar, 3 cups of water, 3/4 cups of sugar, 1/3 cup of salt, and a heaping 1/4 teaspoon of garlic. We're going to put all this together in a pot and we're going to bring it up to simmer. We're going to let it simmer for about 15 minutes so it gets really good and hot, and then we're going to can it. Okay, first of all, just like in our strawberry jam video, you want to heat your jars up in the oven to 250 degrees. Okay, to get started, we want to add our 3 cups of water, 3 cups of vinegar, 3/4 cup of sugar, 1/3 cup of salt, and our heaping 1/4 teaspoon of garlic. Now we're going to go ahead, turn this on, and we are going to let it heat up on a medium high. Get this melted. Get this sugar and garlic and salt melted. As soon as this gets warmed up right to a simmer, we're going to add our jalapeno peppers. Alright, our vinegar and water and sugar and salt mixture has reached the simmer point, so we're going to add in our jalapenos. Now keep this on medium high, and it's going to start to simmer, and you will notice that the jalapenos will turn that olive drab looking green that is very evident in pickled jalapenos. Okay, as our pickled jalapenos warm up, we're going to go ahead and get our lids hot. I'm going to put 7 lids in because I always put in an extra, jar. Now if you'll notice, some of these are starting to turn that olive drab. They're beginning the process, they've got hot, and they're starting to turn that color that you're used to seeing in pickled jalapenos. So this is right at the simmer point. We're going to let it simmer for about 15 minutes, get really good and hot, and all of these peppers in here will have turned, and then we'll can it. Okay, our jalapenos have begun to simmer, and they have been going for about 5 minutes. And so we're going to let them go for about 10 more minutes. I'm going to go ahead and turn this down to medium. Alright, these have been simmering for about 15 minutes and they are ready to can. What we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and turn these off and get our jars out of the oven and can them. Okay, we're going to start the canning process. So we just took our jars out of the 250 degree oven. Our jalapenos, we just turned them off. They simmered for about 15 minutes and they're looking really good. So what I like to do is I like to put the peppers in first, okay? And you can use your wooden spoon to kind of push them down just a little bit. But put the peppers in first and get them up to the top where you want them. And then, after you get the peppers in, then you can put some of your juice in and cover up the peppers. And you'll just do this with each jar. Okay, we ended up with 6 8-ounce jars of pickled jalapenos. So what we're going to do now, we're going to finish out the canning process. I'm going to wipe the top of each one of these lids really good to make sure it's really clean. That way your lid can seal properly. Okay, next we're going to put on our lids. So what we do with our lids is we dry them off. They're coming out of warm water. We dry them off and we place them on top of the jar. Okay, once you get your lids on, now it's time for your bands. And you're just going to put them on and tighten them up. Now this jar is going to be hot, so take note of that. Okay, we've got our bands and our lids on, so I like to tighten them down really good and turn them over. Now this is an old-timey way of canning, I realize that, but it works. And what this does, when you turn it over, any bacteria or mold that got on this, potentially got on this when we were cleaning off the top of the lids or when the product was being put into the jars, the turning over actually kills that bacteria or mold. And that comes straight out of a Southern Living canning guide from the 70s. And it still works. So we're going to leave these over for 5 minutes, so we're going to turn them back over, and in about 30 minutes they will seal. Alright, we're going to turn our jars over. It's been about 5 minutes. And these things will seal. So, thanks for watching, and we hope you gained some useful knowledge on a really tasty recipe for pickled jalapenos.